Good evening, Speed Gaming fans. Welcome to another 2019 Final Fantasy Spring Tournament Swiss rounds. This is round 5 of the Swiss rounds, and we've got a doozy, a slobber knocker, if you will say. Both of these have some implications. The loser will hang out with the confused old men in Crescent Lake. The winner will enter into the last chance qualifier to possibly make his way into the bracket play for the actual playoffs itself. To the behind the scenes, we've got Kenny Star 76 doing the tracking. Kirito is doing our streaming from Speed Gaming, so I appreciate you both for being here and allowing me to broadcast this. My name is Dang Wu. I will be doing some solo commentary for now. So before I introduce our runners today, let's get some Bless RNG in chat for our runners tonight. Let's hope for a war mech. Let's hope for some good RNG. Let's hope for a great race. That's what I'm hoping for. Now, on our left, we have MeleeWizard. He is rocking out 2 black mages, a white mage, and a fighter. He's hoping for that late game guarantee spells. Meanwhile, on our right, Braxis Muse is running the double stuff Oreo composition, double black, double white. He is foregoing the fighter or any offensive or attacking members and relying upon the spell casting and finding of the Masamune to finish this game. While we do that, I'm going to set off our runners here. So, as I said before, this is a very important match for both. One of them will hang out with the old men in Crescent. The other will move on for a chance to make it into the actual playoffs. So we're about 20 seconds from going for them. In the meantime, would like to bring up for tonight's broadcast, we have, after the Crab Cakes and Edgeworth that is going on in SG2, it will be the Greggly Puff and SVJ. And then tomorrow, Friday at 9 p.m., Shofumaki versus Lord Fizzlebeef. That's a battle of 3-1s. And Saturday at 3 a.m., it's a midnight special of sorts. Czar versus Minochi 85. And I believe we are having the Wilminati broadcast. And that's another battle of 3-1s. That's going to be an exciting one. Has Brax gone mad? Yes, he has. It is the double stuffed Oreo composition, he calls it. So we're going to see how this plays out. Braxis is definitely hoping for some early magic of some sort, some clear spells, and we're on our way. So Brax is definitely going to check out this magic and hope for something good. Harm 2, not terrible. He can work with that. Ice 2. Okay, we have and early temper and warp. Okay, this is looking good for Brax. MeleeWizard is going to be happy with that too. He's running the 2 black mages for MeleeWizard. That Harm 2 spell is not too bad. That at least allows us to help clear out Ice Cave or Marsh Cave if we do early dives. No cheap copper bracelets in the armor shop. Looks like housing prices is pretty expensive. The good news is tents are nice and cheap at 18 gold a pair, or 18 gold. Melee and Brax about to save, and then they're going to make their way probably up to Garland at this point. Looks like Brax spent all his money, was not able to save, so he has to use a tent. Imps had a nasty spell, I missed it. Oh, it's Frost. Okay, that's going to cause some of these runners here to have to do some resets. MeleeWizard, our first runner into Temple of Fiends. Let's see what he's going to give us here, while Braxis is having troubles just making his way over there. Gold bracelet pickup by MeleeWizard. That's good to see. Braxis will be very, very happy to see that whenever he gets that. Melee heading up to the top left chest. Braxis gained a level off of killing a couple imps there just for that health. Health is going to be very crucial for his party. When you're going all casters like that, you don't have the HP pool that MeleeWizard's going to have with that fighter/knight. Our first look at Garland. Ice 2 casts. Should be dead pretty soon, especially with a 114 hit off the start. Ooh, Garland's got some health on him. Brax on your right is going to get through the cutscene. Garland's dead. We're going to see our first 2 key items here from the king and princess whenever the bats decide to get out of the way. And we get our crown from the king. So we basically stole the crown from the king, and then we got the crystal from Sarah. Interesting. So at this point, do you go to Matoya's? Probably. You go to Matoya's, then you check out Provoca. Ice 2 doesn't guarantee an easy battle against Astos. He can have nasty spells, but you have tents. You can save outside and kill him after a couple rounds. So I would probably do that. You go to Matoya's, you see what she turns in. She's got free chests. Then you go to Provoca, Old Provoca, find out what city is there, and then you make your way back to Astos if there's nothing there in Old Provoca. Warp charge is picked up. That's great at early levels. That means you can dive Marsh Cave. You can dive Ice Cave if you need to. So Brax has got his gold bracelet. He's finally made his way out of Temple of Fiends. MeleeWizard is going to go up to Matoya's first and check it out. He didn't save, and he got ambushed by imps. He's going to have to reset and look at the cool cinematic of the bridge again. Those imps are plentiful, unfortunately, but Braxis finally gets his crown, and he's going to get his crystal from the kind king and princess. Alright, Melee's finally going to save it at this point. It's a good save. I mean, either way, he's gonna keep that key item, more than likely. Braxis is going to pick harm too. I would definitely do that if I was him. Wall, I don't think you really need that right now, but it's okay. Silver shield, not a whole lot. And we get our ship from Matoya. We are now sailing the high seas, which is actually the name of this flag set. We have so much open with that open extended progression. We can now go to Old Onrak. We can go to Crescent. We can go to Melmon if we want and see where the cities are located at, since they are shuffled. But first, he's going to make his way over to Provoca, I would assume so. You kind of got to know what's over there. Braxis is still buying stuff after defeating Garland. He's going to play a little catch-up here. He's going to go to Matoya, more than likely. Yeah, he's making his way over there, so he's just a little bit behind MeleeWizard at this point. He's going to save often. Unrunnable Sharks. Let's see if they have any spells to go with it. This is going to make these sailing the high seas a little dangerous. Ice 2 will kill it, though. Old Provoca. Oops, well, he gets... We got ship for Braxis. He's going to get his silver shield. Ooh, say hags with fire too. Okay, sailing is not safe here. This is going to be rough. Gets ambushed again. Braxis is going to make his way to the ship, and then he's going to find out how dangerous the seas are. We're about to see what Old Provoca has. It is Lefane. Okay. So Melee will instantly reset, just like what he did. He's going to make his way probably to Dwarfs, maybe Melmon. Nope, he's going to go to Elflin. I don't blame it. That's a good choice. He'll be able to see what Elflin is. He's hoping for Provoca. If Old Elflin is Provoca. He gets level 2 access to spells. If it's Crescent, he gets more key items. Brax hasn't ran into the Sayhags with Fire 2 yet, so he doesn't know how deadly the high seas are. Ogres with Trance, just because, why not? Oh, there's that fight that MeleeWizard ran into. On Brax's side, he's going to learn about the Fire 2 casts. And since he doesn't have the HP pool that Melee has, a Fire 2 is going to eat him up. Another Fire 2 cast. Yep, he's going to have to reset. Old Elflin is Gaia. We don't have the bottle. There's copper bracelets, iron armor. A little expensive, though. Copper bracelets will be nice for Brax. There's no shop item there, so for MeleeWizard, is he going to make his way to Astos? What's he going to do? What's he thinking? Brax is just behind him. We have caught up. They're essentially just high-fived in the high seas right there at the port. MeleeWizard is going to go to the Dwarves. I'm assuming from Dwarves, level 7 nuke. That's going to be kind of good for Brax, but I don't think he's going to get to level 20 with all of it. He might get to level 20 with all his mages. He'll be able to make use of it. The Sayhags still causing our runners some troubles there with their Fire 2 casts. Brax is going to, I think he's going to walk either to Marsh or he's going to walk to Northwest Castle to visit the kind old king. MeleeWizard's going to check the Dwarves. They've got money in a house. House is good to find. House is great to find at this point. We have limited spell charges. We need to get through the overworld encounters. And our first look at Astos. What has he got for us? The canoe. Alright, the canoe opens up the entire continent, this southern continent that we are located in. We now have access... Well, we have access to everything now. We have the ship and the canoe, so we can do Waterfall, we can check the Oasis item shop, we have Ice Cave, we have Volcano. We have everything open except for Gaia and Lefane. That's, of course, if MeleeWizard can take out Astos. That is the big if. And we're going to do a high five on Astos, the kindly old king. There is a blocked classes. Thief is banned. Black Mage is required. MeleeWizard chose his. He went the Knight Mage, or White Mage, double black. Braxis is going the... He calls it the double stuffed Oreo. And there we go. MeleeWizard finally gets to keep his canoe after killing Astos. And gains a bit of experience there. He's now level 5, so that's pretty nice. We don't have great spells for the double stuffed Oreo composition that Braxis is running, but Ice 2 and Warp, we can make use of that. Plus the temper charges are great to have too, because he's going to need them. He's not going to have the attacking power that MeleeWizard is going to have in the end game. Nuke was blocked at level 7, so he's not going to be able to use that for very long, or for very much. He's not going to have the amount of charges that he normally would like if it was at level 1 or 2. Braxis gets to keep his canoe finally. We have learned that in the high seas, for anybody who's just joined us, this is a battle between MeleeWizard on your left, Braxis Muse on your right. The winner moves on to the last chance qualifier and a chance to make it into the playoffs after winning that and the play-in race. The loser gets to hang out with the crazy old men in Crescent. So neither one of them wants to hang out with the crazy old people in Crescent. So the Sayhags in in the sea have Fire 2, has been giving these runners. The Sahags have Fire 2, and they've been giving trouble. Slab is for sale in Onrak, which is Old Melmon. Let's see, to answer the questions in chat, Gregory Puff, I am casting solo. And for Iringen, I'm gonna mess that name up, I apologize. I'm hoping for a level 2 Fade if possible. Level 3 Fade, and definitely he's gonna want a higher level spell, like an Ice 3, Fire 3, you know, something like that to help kill some more enemies. Ice 2 is just not gonna cut it. And MeleeWizard unfortunately finds out that the Sahags once again will not let you just sail the high seas easily. And the shop item was the slab. I believe it was for 14k. So Braxis on your right is going to go into Marsh. He says, you know what, I'm here, I have warp, I'm going for it. And my tracker in the back, Kenny Star 76, just confirms it for me that 14k for the slab. Thank you very much. MeleeWizard on your left is going to make his way to Old Crescent. He's doing town searching. We haven't seen Provoca. We haven't seen Crescent yet. So those hold 2 key items. With the canoe and ship, we have access to a lot of locations. If this holds a key item, this is very good. And it's Crescent. This is good. Crescent is Crescent. We have pro rings for 6k. That's good to find. We have exits in the second. Lit 3, Fire 2, Ice 3. Not very good for Brax, unfortunately. Those higher level spells are in level 6 and higher. We're going to get our first look at the Confused Old Men. The loser will be hanging out with them. Let's see. What do we got here? Still searching. There we go. They are holding on to the adamant for some reason. They must have had one of those the metal detectors as they just confusedly wandered around, and they just happened to find it. So MeleeWizard is going to... Oh, ribbon pickup that is an incentivized marsh. That is interesting. Not very great. Doesn't really help Braxis, unfortunately. I mean, it does, but the bad part is it's not a key item like the floater where he can say that this dive was worthwhile. You know, at least it doesn't give him an edge, I should say, in the battle. And he's down to 2 light warriors. So melee on your left, he is trying... Oh, flame sword. Unfortunately, nobody can use it, so he's going to try and warp out. Does he have enough charges? Yes, he does. Braxis will be able to get out with that ribbon. Melee on your left, he is going... He's grinding right now outside of Crescent off of these trolls. Braxis has a bit of a run though. He's got to make his all the way... He's got to make us all the way to Old Elflin, which is Gaia. And unfortunately for him, the clinic is a miles away once you get into Gaia. He might be doing a grind, Gregley. I'm not entirely sure. Iron, the double Black Mage, yeah, it's cool. The only problem with the double Black Mage is Black Mage has a very horrible health growth. And when you do double Black Mage, how do I say it? Like a single Black Mage, generally you can get out of nuke range a lot easier than if you go with a double Black Mage. Now, in Brex's case, he's going to go probably a higher level compared to what MeleeWizard will do with his black mages, because he's going to rely upon his fighter to do a lot of the stuff. So Melee finally is happy with those levels. He's going to go to... He's got Warp. He might do Ice Cave. Doesn't have great spells for it. Karibes are going to slow down our runners. Welcome to Chad Czar. I know you were helping us out in the background to get this race started. Appreciate it. Of course, we're hoping for our Lord and Savior, the Robot Chicken Warmech. Damon Cord, welcome. Welcome to the race. For all you YouTubers out there that are watching this race and our VOD, thank you. I hope you enjoy the show. These two are going to battle all out while MeleeWizard is in Volcano, the Guguru Volcano. He's going to dive. He's got Warp. He can warp out if he finds anything good in the armory. Braxis is camping gearing, buying a bunch of stuff. He's rich at this moment, so he might as well spend it. He might buy that slab, but we haven't seen Melmon, so I don't know if you want to buy it right away. More money for Melee. Heal potion. More money. Ooh, a loose key. We'll take it. So that's good for MeleeWizard. That Volcano dive is paying off. It's kind of in a very known position where a lot of people... Ooh, Thor Hammer early on. Power Bonk. Okay. Yes, as you point out, if he goes, he can check out all those locked chests if he wants. Hopes for another loose item, maybe. He hasn't turned in that adamant yet. Surprisingly, Braxis Muse is gonna be the first one to turn in. The Power Bonk actually casts Saber, which increases your damage and your hit percentage. So Melee's leaving. He's going to check chests and probably turn in that adamant all at one time. Now, that hit percentage, or the hit, doesn't actually help against high evasive enemies very much. So a spell like Lock or Lock 2 is really good. The only problem is Lock and Lock 2 can miss pretty often. There is a thing in our beta flags, or our alpha site, I'm sorry, where Lock 2 will actually always hit. And we got our first lab buy from Braxis Muse. We don't know where Melmon is yet. MeleeWizard has made us all the way back to Crescent, which is Crescent. He's going to probably buy some more healing potions, camping gear, and he's probably going to make his trip to go check out all those locked chests now that he's also got all of those chests in the locked rooms, and he's got the adamant turn in. Braxis instantly exits out. The Sayhags are not nice to our runners here in the high seas. I know I've mentioned this before, but they are not nice. Well, they're kind of, while they're out sailing the seas, looks like MeleeWizard's about to go do the same thing. Once again, at 10 p.m. Eastern tonight, or after the Crab Cakes and Edgeworth match on SG2, Gregley Puff versus Saint Von Jester is going to happen after that one on Speed Gaming 2. So make sure to check them out. Well, watch them while watching me, of course. Or, excuse me, watching MeleeWizard and Braxis Muse, because I want you hanging around with us, okay? We also have tomorrow, Friday, at 9 p.m., Shofumaki versus Lord Fizzlebeef, the battle of 3-in-1s. The winner gets automatically into the playoffs. The loser, unfortunately, will have to do the play-in race. And Saturday, at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, Czar versus Monochi with the Wilminati broadcasting duo, I believe, is going to be happening. That is a midnight special. You guys need to be there. So I'm going to tell you right now, that is some top quality production value right there. I know it's late, but it's well worth it. I can guarantee it. So, what do we got here? MeleeWizard's going to check out the Northwest Castle. He's going to see what the locked chest or the locked room has in here. Braxis is still in Crescent. He's shopping. He needs to be a little more careful with his gear compared to MeleeWizard. A heal staff, not really worth it, but it's not terrible. Brax is going to find out that all the high-level magic is level 6 and above, it seems like. That is true. That was a big pile of money that was brought up in chat. Adamant was the chime. I missed that when Braxis turned it in. I believe Braxis turned it in. So that opens up Mirage if MeleeWizard wants to check for maybe a loose floater, but we still have Ice Cave, a katana, black shirt, so we can sell the katana for more money if we need it. Ooh, a mage staff, okay. MeleeWizard's getting the magic items. He'll be able to start casting stuff and AoE clearing stuff a lot easier now. Looks like Brax is going to try and grind. Nope, he's leaving now. Will he go to Onrak at this point? Where is he going? Looks like he is going to Onrak. Or he could go to Ordeals. That is a long run he's got going on here. I think he's going in an endless circle at this point. I think he's literally circled the entire world right there. He has circled the entire world, I think. Sayhag's doing their thing on both of them, though MeleeWizard got the early initiative. Just say it was RNG manipulation. I like it. Alright, Melee has gone to Corneria. He's going to raid the castle. Let's see, what is... Brax is now going to go... I've given up on where Brax is going at this point. Oh, Masumane picked up over in Corneria locked. That's a big pick. And that's also good for Braxis too. He needs an endgame weapon. If he checks the Corneria locked, he gets an endgame weapon. He needs it. In this case, he cannot equip any of the other stuff. He can't equip the Vorpal. He can't equip, the Excalibur. He doesn't get any of the Sun Swords or anything like that. The Masa is actually able to use by every class in the game. This is the reason why it's such a big pickup for Braxis, is because he needs that weapon for later on. With Nuke being level 7, and we don't know where Fade is, he's not going to be able to kill anything reliably in Temple of Fiends Revisited. Brax is going to check out old Onrak, so we're finally going to get to see what Onrak is. Is this level 2 Provoca? No, it's Melmon. Okay. He has the slab, though. He can turn this in. This is a good find for him. And old Provoca is Lefane. So he can do that. He can do that turn in, and he can go into the Waterfall and do the Waterfall incentivized location, which has a key item for us. Fade level 5. We can work with that. Quake at level 5, Bane at level 5. Those are good spells for him. MeleeWizard, I don't believe had his power bonk equipped, but I think he's got pro rings equipped, so that's okay. Totally understandable. But a fighter can equip the power bonk right away. You don't have to wait for promotion. And Brax is going to go to the Waterfall. Now, the mud goals can be a problem. Nightmares, the apocalypse ponies, can be a problem because they all hit hard. So we're going to see what goes on here. Braxis is get the decent run. Mummies show up. Mummies are hitting for about 29 to 40 damage. Okay. We can live with that. It still hurts though. Unfortunately, Edge is down. We have 2 soldiers down. Let's reset there. MeleeWizard. He is over by... Looks like he's going Ordeals. So we got more divergence here. MeleeWizard got the loose key. It's in Volcano Armory. He has checked all the key locations. He found Masa in the Corneria locked. And now, well, I thought he was going to... Yeah, he's making his way over to either Onrak or he's going to go to Ordeals. While Braxis has already gone to Onrak and is going into the Waterfall. Having some issues, though. These mummies and mummies are not letting him travel very far. Sahag's got initiative. Forces another reset by MeleeWizard. Unfortunate, but they have been trouble all day. I'd be saving constantly. There he goes. Harm 2 just not doing enough damage. The one thing that you got to remember is Harm 2 doesn't actually do bonus damage against undead. It just allows you to damage undead. It's not like fire spells, which it gains a damage bonus. He switches out his gear for the dead black mage, puts it on the second place character. But he leaves the dead mage there. Oh, he runs right into it. He might have been able to get away with it. Ambushed. They are just hammering him. Another black mage down. He's going to go for the run. Whiz mummies. Miss. 49. Okay, he's down to 1. Come on, Danny. Danny, get initiative. No, he took a wipe. Alright, what's he going to do? So in that situation right there, Brax had a chance where he could have sat at the door and hoped that the robot walked over one and he could have talked to the robot and then just it warped out instead of running into the trap tile. Melee is in Ordeals. Braxis is still trying out Waterfall. Has not been friendly to him. Mummies and whiz mummies are just being mean at this point. They're hitting hard enough, and there's enough of them where they're able to just target one at a time and kill our low HP mages. Good news is we have Ice 2s for the Nightmares. The bad news, Nightmares have over 200 HP and they're unrunnables. Ice 2 also takes charges of our warp. We only need 1 warp to get out though, so that's at least something good. It looks like Braxis is trying to gain some levels before continuing. Melee has made his way on your left-hand side, has made his way through the teleporter maze. He's on the 2nd floor. He is grinding. He needs more HP. They're doing just enough damage where he's not able to survive, unfortunately. So Brax is doing a little bit of a grind here. Melee is about to make his way to the incentivized location where it's going to hold a key item. We don't know what it's going to be yet. So, looks like Brax is going to head out. He might be trying to save his house. Go back to Melmon, which is the old on-rack. Unfortunately, he had to reset, so he's going to have to make the trip again. Melee checks a couple chests, some gold, some more gold. Not really what he needs at this point. Pro Cape, that's a good find. Casters, that goes in the caster's shield spot. It's a very good shield for the casters. Only way a caster gets a shield. Although a red mage can equip the buckler, but who's actually going to buy a buckler? Rune sword, money, nothing really there, and we get our explosive find over in Ordeals. The TNT. Okay. So, if I'm MeleeWizard, what do you do? Do you go and turn in the TNT, or do you go to OnRack? The answer probably is you go to OnRack. You go to OnRack, you find what's there, and then you do Waterfall if you can. You want to try and make your journey as as many up and down movements as possible. I don't remember him buying the slab, so unfortunately when he gets to OnRack, he'll find out that it's Melmon, and he won't be able to get it translated. I believe Brax has translated it already. Yeah, he could be going for Fade. Level 5, unfortunately, for a white black mage is level 12. That's a lot of grinding to do. So he might be doing that, but I don't think he's in double digits yet. And he runs into the pirate encounter. It's actually a pretty decent encounter to run into. He'll get some experience. It's not a whole lot of experience, unfortunately. He has a good amount of money, though. 810 gold, can't argue with that at all. Yeah, he's only level 9. He needs to gain 3 more levels to be able to cast the level 5 magic. And it looks like that's what he's doing. Unfortunately, though, he's not able to do the river tiles because he doesn't really have very great clear spells. Ice 2 is okay, but those river tiles have very hard-hitting guys in general. Hydras will one-shot you. Frost Gators can one-shot you. Even Gators can one-shot you. There's a lot of stuff in there that is very, very terrifying for little clothy users like Braxis Muse's party. The double stuffed Oreo composition that he's got. So we're going to get our TNT turn in here by MeleeWizard on your left-hand side here shortly. Would it make question chat? Would it make more sense to check other spots? Yes, I think with Harm 2 and Ice 2s and stuff like that, I would be willing to do Ordeals just to try it. And TNT turns into Rod. Okay, so that opens up Earth. Melee could go searching in Earth if he wants. We haven't found the floater yet. Nobody wants to go into Ice Cave, which is kind of surprising for MeleeWizard at this point. With Masa at this moment, I'm thinking he's going to go to Earth based on what I'm looking at him right now. Oh, and for good, and just to top things off, because the high seas are so dangerous, Sharks have Fire 3. Braxis has the only ribbon at this point. MeleeWizard doesn't have any, so the Sahags are deadly to him, and the Sharks are deadly to him because they have Fire 3. I would definitely have checked other things. I know I kind of mentioned this already. It looks like he's going to try the river tile. He's run into Hydras and Gators. These have generally high attack numbers. Hydras rolled low on health. And low damage, apparently. We haven't seen the Gators attack yet. We're about to see one here shortly. Missed and 43. Okay. So he can do the river tiles in a general... Ooh, Geists have Toxic. And MeleeWizard is forced to reset again on your left-hand side. Oh, for the ones out there wondering who rolled this seed, Czar is our seed roller for this afternoon. We would like to thank Czar for this fine Czar production. Manticores are good. Manticores are not good when they have a spell like Blaze. So Braxis's spots where he can grind are very limited at this point. Thank Blaine, take your pick. You are absolutely right, Damon Cord. MeleeWizard is going to check out Marsh. He's going down there. He is afraid of Ice Cave, which is understandable. Marsh and Ice have some of the largest or the widest variety of monsters, which means you have a good chance of running into something with a dangerous spell or ability. Scums with Rub. That's going to be a problem. They are found everywhere in Marsh Cave. Oh, and Exford, just for the heck of it. So even if Rub misses, they can just Exford and then rub you again. Great. Exford makes you lose your magic resist. Okay, so nothing in the top side of Marsh. Melee has the entire... That's a lot of rubbing. Right you are. So, we got a little bit of downtime again. I'm going to kind of go over a little recap here for everybody. The king gave us the crown. The kindly old king named Astos gave us the canoe after we defeated him. After rescuing the princess, she gave us the crystal. Matoya gave us the ship, which opened up the high seas and became a very dangerous place for our runners. Zahags had fire 2, sharks had fire 3. So it wasn't very easy getting into the high seas, or sailing the high seas. Our shop item was 14k, and that was the slab. And as you see on the left-hand side, Brax's Muse got in and out of Marsh Cave very easily. MeleeWizard, however, finds out that there's poison damage out there, too. Count your blessings, Brax. You got in and out in a very safe manner. To continue what's been going on, our incentivized item in Marsh is actually the ribbon, of all things. The loose key item that we found so far is actually the key. That was in the Volcano Armory. Masa was found in Corneria locked. And Ordeals had the explosive TNT, which led to the rod. Old Provoca is Lefane. Elflin was Gaia. Melman was Onrak. Crescent is Crescent. And Onrak is Melmon. That's all we know at the moment. We still have the old Gaia location, which we don't know where it's at. And we don't know what the Lefane location is. Oh, I'm sorry, and I forgot that the confused old men gave us the adamant. They found it with their metal detectors. They wandered aimlessly around in their location. They found the adamant, which led us to the chime. We have not seen a mirage play yet from these runners. Braxis on your right has done grinding over by Waterfall after wiping a couple times against the mummies and the whiz mummies. MeleeWizard has done more of the exploring. He's already gone to Ordeals. He's already done the volcano, got the loose key. He's gone and checked all of the key locked locations. He's got the Masa. He's about to get his ribbon here if he can make his way through the wizards. And I've been told in chat that Braxis has finally made it to 12 for the fade charges. He's only got one fade, but he's got one on each one of his white wizards. Oh, wizards on your left apparently have lit 2 to make things even more enjoyable. And what does MeleeWizard do? He's made us all the way down into this deadly marsh cave, and he gets rewarded for a piece of equipment that makes your hair pretty and gives you magic resist. Or, well, the defense against all elemental magic, I should say. Alright, so Melee still has the key-locked chests if he decides to check them. We do know that Marsh is dangerous. And if he checks this chest here, there's going to be wizards in the trap tile with lit 2. Nope, he's leaving. And our robot gives us the loot. Okay. So that is an item we need to finish the game. So for actually finishing the game right now, we have we have 4 of the 6 items already. We just need the Oxiel, and we need Oxiel and the cube, and that is go mode for our runners. So we still haven't checked Ice Cave at this point. We still haven't checked... well, Ordeals has been checked now from MeleeWizard. So Braxis is probably going to go there next. I'm assuming MeleeWizard is going to make his way to Ice Cave at this point, since he's checked every other location except for that. Odd Eyes have Poison Stone. Oh, goody. Unrunnable Sharks, they have Fire 3. The Seas that keep on giving. See where Braxis is going. Is he going to go? Yep, he's going to Ordeals. Ordeals has the TNT, which leads to the Rod. I'm going to take a guess and say that Ice Cave is going to have the floater, or it's going to have a loose item like the bottle that's going to lead into the floater at this point. We still have the tail available, we still have the ruby available, we got the bottle. But we're only technically looking for 2 more items to be in go mode. But that's between both runners at this point. Got the lull in the action. My name is Dangwoo. I'm bringing some solo commentary for this action here. We got on the left, MeleeWizard. On the right, Braxis Muse. They are battling for a chance to make it into the last chance qualifier. This is, of course, the 2019 Spring Final Fantasy Randomizer Tournament. This is the Swiss rounds, of course, round 5. And MeleeWizard on your left has made his way into Ice Cave. It's the only thing that we have not seen at this point. Braxis is going through Ordeals. Ordeals has the TNT, like I've said before. He makes quick work of Ordeals. Lit 2 from the wizards on your left. MeleeWizard could be in trouble here if they keep Ooh, and they have Squint for the heck of it. Wizards also hit for 2 hits. Wizards with 2 hits are very dangerous. I would also like to point out for all you out there that are watching right now, over on Speed Gaming 2, Gregley Puff versus SVJ, St. Von Jester, is going to be taking place here soon. So, if you'd like, hang around here, watch both of them, multi-watch both of them if you'd like. But that race is about to take place here very shortly. They're just warming up and getting... The commentators are warming up their breath. On your left, Wraith with Thunder. Melee has probably had some of the toughest battles making it into dives. Marsh Cave gave them lots of troubles. Ice Cave is doing the same thing. Paraxis had 1 trouble, and that was Waterfall. Finally got to level 12, grinded his way to level 12 for the Fade charge, and was able to make short work of Waterfall finally. He gets a pro cape. That's good for his double stuffed Oreo composition that he's rocking. He still needs to find that key and go to Canaria Locked to get the Masa. The Masa is going to help him immensely in the later game. TNT find from Braxis. He's going to check out what the zombie Ds have. Looks like they hit decently hard, but they have health. That's not good. If they didn't have health, he'd be able to grind them. They take a little too much cast to kill, unfortunately. He's going to take this one fight and leave, yes. He has no more fade charges at this point. Melee still diving on your left-hand side. He's diving Ice Cave. He's made his way to the eye room. He's going to go to this back hole. He's going to drop down, and then he's going to magically warp back up and levitate to be able to check all 3 chests. Now, what he does from there, I'm not entirely sure. He might clear out Ice Cave, he might not. There is still 1 loose item. Oh, and he went down the front one instead. Okay, it was a mistake. So he's going to do the same thing here. He's going to warp back up. The floater is in Ice Cave. We kind of figured it was going to be there, but it could have also been a loose item just to mess with our runners. And Melee says, I am out of here. I am going to go get my airship, and I am going to go do other things at this point. I have Masa, I have level 1 tempers, and Praxis is getting lit up by fire spells on his ship. I'm not entirely sure how that ship has not sunk at this point. It is being burned to a crisp with all these fire 2s and fire 3s that being casted on his party. He gets the chime. Braxis, what are you going to do? You have the rod, which you're about to get here. Are you going to make your Earth play? Are you going to go to Volcano? Are you going to go to Ice Cave, which has your next key item? Or are you going to make the very risky dive and go to Mirage? For me, I would probably be more than willing going to Ice at this point. It's my next key item. I have Fade charges. I'm going there. I have Warp. Melee at about 49 minutes and 28 seconds gets in the air. He's going to check out Sarda. Nope, he's not checking out Sarda. Where is he going? Yep, he's going to check out Sarda. We're going to get our first look to see what the old man in a cave is going to give us. And he was holding the tail. So that's class promotion for MeleeWizard now. At a decent time, I believe he's still in the early teens. And he's going straight for Cardia. He's going to check the chest here in Cardia, which has a lot of free chests to check. He's going to get his promotion. He'll be able to equip any late game gear like the Opal Armor. A Bane Sword is a good pickup. The Game Clencher, some people call it. Catmen. Melee runs into some Catmen while Braxis makes his way over to the old Provoker, which is Lefane. He's going to turn in after learning the language of the Lefanish. We're going to see what they give us. All that trouble to learn the language, and we get the Oxiel. Okay, the Oxiel is another item we need to complete the game. That opens up Kraken. We are at 5 items required of the 6 needed to complete the game. All we need is the cube at this point. A cube find says we're in go mode. Or at least for us, the commentary, and you, the fans out there, we will know that they are in go mode. We don't know if it's loose yet. We don't know where it's at. At this point, I'm going to say it's loose because, well, there is nothing else that is open for us. Everything has been checked that has been incentivized at this point. So we now know that there's a loose. Somehow we get to our cube from a loose item. It could be a loose ruby lock. No, it can't be a loose ruby lock. I'm sorry. So, how would this work out? Starter gives us the tail. So MeleeWizard is going to go to... Oh, that's right. We still have Provoca. That's right. We have that turn in from Provoca, which is in Old Gaia. Forgot about Nitpicky the Pirate. He got shuffled into something that was protected. Life 2. Okay. MeleeWizard is looking good. His Knight can learn Life 2. His White Wizards can learn 2. Braxis is going to Ice Cave. He's going to be getting his airship here if he can make his way through a very deadly ice cave. Gold bracelets for 20k in Provoca. Those are nice. Braxis will be happy if he can ever get there. It's a little expensive, but totally worth it for his casters. We still haven't seen what Bicky the Pirate gave us yet. A very meticulous routing here by MeleeWizard. He's checking all the chests first. He's not going to see what Bicky the Pirate gives us here. Wants to make sure he gets all the camping equipment, all the diving equipment. There we go. Now we got the battle against the pirates. Yarr! Now, Wraiths do have Thunder, I believe, over on your right-hand side. So Brax has to be careful of them. And it's Ruby from Bicky the Pirate. That's not what you want to see if you're a MeleeWizard, but now you know that you have a loose item. You have a loose cube out there. Well, no. He still needs to find the loot. And the loot is... Excuse me. The loot was from Waterfall. So the robot has the loot. He already knows that he's got one of the loose items, which was the key. So he knows there's one loose item left. So in his mindset, he's going to have to check most of these locations. Was Ice Cave going to save Braxis or let him catch up? Will he do a full clear of Ice Cave and hope that it's there? Wraiths with Quad X. I believe Wraiths also have Thunder, as I've mentioned earlier. Pro Ring purchases by MeleeWizard. Very good purchases. Braxis has got his floater now. Is he going to exit out or is he going to check? He's going back in. Alright, looks like we have 2 Wraiths in there. Those are the dangerous ones for sure. The Geist have Toxic. More Toxic comes out. He dodges it. Harm 2. He's counterattacking against these undead. Melee is class changed. As you see, he's on his little airship. Where is he going? He realizes he doesn't have the Oxyel at this point. He has not bought the slab yet, which is up here. Welcome to chat, Hio Dishin. I hope I said that right. Melee finally has a slab. The slab leads to the Excuse me. The slab leads to the Oxial. He has to translate it first. We are looking for a loose cube, which is going to be from the bottle. Praxis does have the floater, but he's full clearing ice because he knows that there's 2 loose items out there still. He needs to check them. He can't leave dungeons alone when you have 2 loose items like that. It's just too dangerous. It could cost you. MeleeWizard left Ice Cave right away. Praxis has a chance. If this holds a loose item here, he's in good shape because the other loose item, which was the key, is in Volcano Armory, which most people check. Looks like we got some pirates hanging out in Melmon. They have raided the city of Melmon. And you're right, it does take time to double dip and check. So Brax really needs to hope that it's here. Not necessarily, he's not that far behind, but it would just help in the sense that in a timing aspect of things. Soft potion, that's not it. MeleeWizard has translated his slab. He's making his way to the Waterfall. Waterfall has the loot. And unfortunately, from what I can tell on Brax's side, he was not able to find anything there. Okay, so didn't burn MeleeWizard by skipping out. Unfortunately for Braxis, if these wizards keep casting lit, he could be dying, but nope, he's out. You got a congratulations to Zardia. He got a new bits badge. Praxis is heading towards flying. He's about 7-8 minutes behind in flying compared to MeleeWizard. Melee also had the tail, so he was able to promote. If Praxis, as soon as he gets into the airship and goes to Sarda, he'll be able to class promote. Now, if I was Brax, I would definitely not want to go out to sea. Those Sahags and sharks are very dangerous. And he got it for 2 bits. Yes, he did. Alright, at this point, if I'm Braxis Muse and I'm just getting my airship, I've got to feel a little bit behind, but at the same time, I got to realize that unless my opponent dove ice early, which is possible, but highly unlikely that they got through, he's probably going to be in a little bit of a rush at this point. He's not far behind, as you can see based on the trackers. He's going to check Sarda as soon as he flies. And then from there, he'll probably class promote. And will he go Volcano? And he proves me wrong. He goes to Gaia. He doesn't even check Sarda. Vicky the Pirate gives us the Ruby, which is going to make him a little upset. But he'll find out that his white mages can learn life too. And the all-important lamp. Not much in the life too. We still haven't found Elflin. Elflin is in the old Lefane spot. So that's level 3 and 4 magic. What's going to be there, I believe, is probably fast. Not a whole lot of great spells at this point, to be completely honest. A lot of it was already taken up. Nuke at level 7. Fade was level 5. There was Fire 3 and Lit 3, I believe, were also in level 6. So Braxis's Muse's double stuffed Oreo composition is kind of lacking in spells of sorts. MeleeWizard on your left-hand side has made it to the trap tile over in Waterfall. He's got one mummy left. Blackshirt will finish him off for 21 damage. When that knight gains level 15, he'll start gaining spell charges. He picks up the loot, while Braxis picks up the ruby. Nice key item high five there. Braxis is not going to feel too happy about the ruby. But that's going to probably lead him to Sarda, though. He's going to be happy about those gold bracelets, though. Braxis is going to be really happy about those gold bracelets. Alright, Melee is leaving. He has to find that loose item. It is a loose bottle. The fairy will give us the cube, which allows MeleeWizard to go into go mode at this point. He's about to get the Oxial from the Lefanish people. Kyo, no. He has the power bonk. He got it from the Volcano Armory when he got the loose key there also. Braxis is going to go for the class change. And he's going to check the ruby lock. Now, MeleeWizard did not check this. Another spot where he can have a chance to pick up the bottle. Now, it all depends whether or not, after that, if it is the bottle there, does he go to Volcano? Carrie generally is an easier boss to kill sometimes. Gur Ogres with Cremate on your right, giving Braxis a little bit of a hard time. A house, pure, pro ring, and gold. Unfortunately, not what he's looking for. But a pro ring find is always good to have. Gives you the extra absorb. Gives you the protection from insta-death. Black Magic level 3. Fire 3 and Hold. Actually, that's pretty good spells. Hold is very good against Carrie early on. You have a chance to paralyze him. Ruse level 3, Heal level 2. Ruse is a great pickup. It casts, well, Ruse. Gives you a very... Oh, and Viz 2 also. At level 4 White Magic. White Magic looking good. Saber, Fast, Brack. Saber in this case can be very good for Brax. Since he is going with the double Black Mage, double White, he can make use of Saber in this case. For MeleeWizard, it's not nearly as important. He's got a knight. That knight is attacking with a Masa. Now, Brax needs to go to Volcano. Go to the armory and pick up the loose key. With that, if he goes to Corneria Locked, he'll get the Masa, which puts him in a very good spot. I don't see him diving Temple of Fiends without Masa, but I could be wrong. I have not actually watched him run a lot of his double Oreo compositions. Double stuffed Oreo compositions. Alright, Melee, is he going to make the dive into Mirage at this point? He still needs the cube. He's looking for cube at this point. Braxis is still looking for the key and the cube. Nope, he is going to go into Volcano. Melee is going into Volcano. I think he's hoping, since the chests are all on his way down to Carrie, he's going to kill the Fire Fiend Carrie while he searches for chests at this point. I don't hate it. I like it. It's not nearly as aggressive, but it's a safe route. Let's just say that. It is a safe route, in my opinion. So he's going to check these 3 chests. He's found the experienced Peds. They're a very good source of experience on the early levels, especially if they roll low health. Braxis is making his way down to the old Lefane, which is New Elflin. He's going to see the level 3 and 4 spells over there. He'll be kind of happy. The white mages will be casting a lot of good stuff, Ruse and Invis 2. The black mages will have some things to take on Carry if he decides to do an early Volcano. Hold is good. Fire 3 is good. So we got Melee. Melee's making his way through the squiggly section here. Braxis on your right is an Elflin. He's doing shopping. Money in the squiggly chest. Okay, so he's got one more chest to check for MeleeWizard on your left-hand side. And then he's going to probably warp out, save, go back in. Brack, Fast, and Saber. Good spells for the Black Mage for Braxis. We're about 1 hour, 8 minutes as you take a look at the times. My name is Dangwoo. I'm doing commentary. In the background, we got Kenny Star 76 doing the tracking, reminding me of key items that are found and things that I may have forgotten. Kirito was our streamer over here in Speed Gaming. So we'd like to thank Speed Gaming for once again hosting the 2019 Final Fantasy Spring Tournament. This is round 5 between MeleeWizard on the left and Braxis Muse on the right. MeleeWizard's running a basic comp of sorts. Instead of the Rainbow Mage, goes with an extra Black Mage. On your right, Braxis Muse, the double stuffed Oreo composition. There was Tyro shown, but unfortunately he left it. MeleeWizard on your left has found a white shirt. That casts Invis 2. Very big pickup. Braxis is going to make the gamble. He's going to dive Mirage at this point. On the line for this match, the loser unfortunately gets to hang out with the confused old men in Crescent. The winner gets his chance to enter in the last chance qualifier. If they win that, they make it into the play-in race where they only have to get in the top 5 to 7. The numbers haven't been confirmed yet, but the top 5 to 7 runners in that big race will then move on into the bracket play of the actual playoffs. So it's going to be one heck of a battle. Damon Cord, because you're hanging out here in our chat, I just want to let you know that you are not a confused old man. You are an A-OK man, in my opinion. MeleeWizard has redove down. He is going towards, I believe it's floor 4 of the Volcano. He's going to see a bunch of chests there on his way down into Carrie's floor. He runs into the trap tile of the Grey Worms. Dave McCord, I do appreciate you hanging out with me in chat. Hope you enjoy the action. Hope you enjoy the commentary. Don't forget, our runners here are doing a heck of a job here. They are running. A lot of them have their Twitches, as you can see. Please drop them a follow if possible. It helps them out. We also have, well, I'll give myself and Kenny Star some credit here too. We need loving too. MeleeWizard's checking out the highest density chest here. We got a pure iron and a trap tile. Braxis has checked the first level of Mirage. Hasn't found much. Ooh, a ribbon for MeleeWizard on the left. That is good. Now, two of his light warriors have pretty hair. Congratulations, MeleeWizard. I'm just kidding. The ribbon's very good. Gives you elemental resistances. Doesn't protect you against the nuke or the nuclears or the tornadoes or swirls, but hey, It'll protect you from all those instant deaths. And thunder and blaze and all that deadly stuff. So at this point, MeleeWizard, in my opinion, is ahead. He's got the masa, and he's found the one loose item at this point, which he needs to complete the game. He needs one more. He's looking for the cube. If Braxis finds it, he's in a decent shape, but he still has to leave. He still has to go to Gaia to turn the bottle in to get the cube. Unfortunately. Aegis pick up on MeleeWizard side, and the Excalibur. Okay. Interesting. Now he can put the Masa if he wants on one of his white mages. Let the white mage rock out the Masa for a little while if he wants. Now he can save charges if he needs to. Braxis is in the greater than less than. This is a big dive for him. He needs to find this loose bottle. Giant sword. Money. Not going to do it. More money. Light axe. More money. Pro cape. It's decent find, but not what he needs. That's a bust. Mirage is a bust, unfortunately. He took a gamble in Mirage, hoping it was there. Unfortunately, no. MeleeWizard is almost there to Carrie's floor. He's level 17. He's actually in really good levels going up against Carrie at this point. I would feel very confident. You have 4 Light Warriors, level 16, 17. You have Excalibur, you have Masa. Braxis is going to check the Cardia Isles. I don't remember seeing anything of note in there. I believe... Ooh, a cabin. That's not that great. Banesword, you're right. I completely forgot about the Game Clencher. So aptly named because with it, you always have a chance against Chaos, even when odds are against you. What does the Banesword do? It casts Bane. And I've been told by the tracker, by my tracker, Kenny Star 76, doing an excellent job. The Flame Armor in Guguro is actually in its original position in Guguro Volcano, in that the Red Dragon chest. Is this even randomized? Sometimes you just gotta ask you that. But yes, it is. It just happened to work out that it was in the same chest. So Brax is checking out Cardi Isles on your right. MeleeWizard has done a lot more moving around. Braxis has made some aggressive moves. Unfortunately, the Waterfall slowed him up a good deal. They're about the same levels. Unfortunately, Braxis doesn't have an endgame weapon. He doesn't have the Masa at this point. We're about to see our first battle with the Fiend of Fire, Carrie. If there's one thing I know about Carrie is, well, she likes to have, well, a special effect added onto her attacks. Either stun touch, or stone, or death touch. I don't know what it is about it, but in any of my seeds, she always has something like that, just to make things interesting. So be on the lookout for it. The fast comes out. Night swings with the Masa. 8 hits, 429. And, well, that was an easy work of Carrie. So that's our first Fiend at 1 hour, 15 minutes and a half, let's say. We're still looking for the loose orb, or the loose cube. He does have access to the Sea Shrine. He could go there, which is in Melmon, which he might be heading. Nope, he's gonna do Melmon. Okay, so he's gonna go into Onrak. He's gonna do the Sea Shrine. High density chests here. He'll probably go Krakenside. If Krakenside happens to have the loose bottle, he's in go mode. If it's not, then he's gonna probably check the Mermaid side after killing Kraken. Braxis is gonna do Earth Dive. So at this point, Melee is 1 orb ahead, but also has the loose key item. The loose key, which was in Volcano Armory. Braxis has not gone to Volcano yet. And MeleeWizard is going to go to Mermaid's side first. He says, commentator, I'm going to do exactly opposite of what you have suggested. And that's exactly what he's doing. Got a little break in the action while MeleeWizard and Braxis checking chest a Zook's Gauntlet for Braxis. That's a pretty good pickup. Just a reminder for tomorrow at 9 p.m. Shofumaki versus Lord Fizzlebeef, the battle of 3-1s. The winner moves on to the playoffs instantly. The playoff bracket. The loser, unfortunately, has to do the play-in race. And as I've mentioned earlier, unfortunately, has to be the top 5 to 7. Numbers haven't been confirmed. The top 5 to 7 racers or runners to move on into the bracket play. So the winner there really wants to win. You don't want to be in that play-in race. There's a lot of good 3-2s out there. You don't want to take that chance. And then we have a midnight special of sorts at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. Czar versus Minochi85. And we have a special broadcast, I believe, from the Wilminati broadcast booth. Will Bloodworth and Will Cleosis. Another 3-1 match. And once again, the worst for this week. The captain was the Black Mage, and the band was the Thief. The poor Thief was banned again. So Brax has made his way into the second floor of Earth. He's still looking for that loose item as he's going. He's got the rod. He's got the promotion with the tail. He's hoping that the loose item's here. He's also hoping that MeleeWizard takes his time doing it. Unfortunately, though, with Braxis being here in Earth, once he defeats Lich, he is going to make his way over to Old Melmon, which is on rack, and he's going to do the Sea Shrine also. So, which means he's going to take time to check all these chests. And we got Opal Bracelet over here, found on the Mermaid side. And I'd like to make a special thank you and a special welcome to Trenton for coming to hang out for a little bit. How are you, Trenton?
I am doing pretty well. This looked like a pretty good place to hang out. A couple of great folks running here in Braxis Fuse and MeleeWizard, and hopefully they're going to have a great rest of this race.
It has been an interesting seed. They got the ship, but the high seas was dangerous. Sahags had fire 2, Sharks had fire 3, Geists, when they went into Marsh and in Ice Cave and Marsh, they had Toxic. So it has not been a very forgiving seed for diving at all. And it looks like Red Sahags have fire 2 just for the heck of it.
Well, you know, if you're going to go that direction, you may as well go the whole from 9 yards. Why not?
And as you can see on the right, Braxis Muse has aptly nicknamed it the Double Stuffed Oreo Composition. Double black, double white.
Well, you know, always interesting to run without the fighter. If it sets up well, you can do a lot of clearing with magic. The biggest concern is getting to the end game and having to deal with bosses. Now, if you're able to get defense and Excalibur, that helps a lot, so Melee adds defense to his arsenal and is set up well.
Yeah, he's been collecting a lot of the weapons. He's got the defense, he's got Masa, he's got Excalibur. Brax at this point, I've kind of been touching on it. You know, he needs the Masa at this point, unfortunately. And, I mean, you can't rely upon the spells when Nuke is level 7, and you have Fade at level 5.
That makes it difficult to do the generic sweeping damage. Now, if your level 3 elementals are good, you can often get through dungeons on the strength of that, but as far as the one-man strats goes, it's a tough scenario to do that in. If you're gonna bring the mage parties, I don't disagree with leveling up the one mage, but I'd like to find somewhere easy and go to 50 with it, or 30 at least, as quickly as possible to get a really durable mage.
Oh, and Gurwolves with paralyzing touch. Edge, Braxis's black mage, is on one knee. He is getting pinged for 1 damage. This could be rough at this point because Paralyze can last a long time and he's got to reset out. Oof.
That's a tough call to make when you're not dead yet, but it sure seems to be heading in that direction. The good news is if you've already swept through here for the treasures, anything you didn't like, you can just skip it on the way back through. So you can get back to where he was a lot faster than it took the first time.
And Werewolves with poison damage, which was also pointed out in chat by Damon Cord. Appreciate it. He was a little trigger happy though, thinking that we were going to see the vampire-shaped speed bump, but unfortunately the Werewolves had a whole nother idea and made Braxis reset out.
I loved the adjustment to put the ribbon on the white mage, white wizard in this case, and have access to that life too. Protecting that life too is pretty critical right now.
Oh, and it was pointed on chat. The vampire speed bump died so quickly I didn't even notice. And poison damage does what it does. Rolls up to 270 damage. One-shots 2 of his black mages. Brax is going to have to life him up. Good thing he's got life 2 though.
Life 2? It's like it didn't even happen.
Oh, how life 2 is nice. The good thing for MeleeWizard is life 2 is at level 2. His knight is going to have it. So if anything happens, he can solo kill the fiends and then life 2 up his party. I should also point out that the wizards had lit 2 and squint.
Of the 4 fiends the first time around, there's a, I guess for lack of a better term, a gimmick kill each of them. You can use Brack on Kraken Tiamat. You can use Quake to insta-kill Lich 1. That is an option. Carry a little bit tougher than that, but you can use the Confuse strats to keep the pressure off and kill with spell damage. So, shouldn't be the first time around against these fiends that Brax has trouble. But when you talk about the Fiends Revisited, you're going to need a lot of killing power to do that.
Yeah, unfortunately for Brax, all he has is Fade. Good news is, the Vampire Speed Bump, Vampire-shaped Speed Bump, is very low health. Generally, vampires actually hit very hard, so it's good that they are, low HP, easy to kill, because when they get to Sea Shrine and they start seeing 4, 5 vampires, they can get very dangerous very quickly.
1 is a speed bump. 5 is a much different matter.
You are so right, too. One's a speed bump, the next one's, can be a very big uphill battle.
I'd be very curious to hear from Brax after the fact about his party choices, and sometimes you just do something different and see what you can get with it.
He's actually been practicing it this week. He's done a lot of runs with it. So he hasn't been doing too bad with them. You can definitely see, though, that the average time is going to be a little bit higher, though, since you have to rely upon, lower HP casters. And if you're going to do anything consistent damage-wise, the only weapon you have, essentially, is a Thor hammer on your white wizard, or you have to find Masa.
So if I'm reading this correctly, we are still on the hunt for the bottle and the cube?
That is correct. The loose key was found in the Volcano Armory by MeleeWizard. And so the only thing we're looking for is the loose bottle.
We've not been to Waterfall though.
Nope, we've been to Waterfall. We've been everywhere so far. So
Okay.
we're finding. Yep,
Right.
the things that have been cleared out so far are ice, volcano, waterfall, ordeals. So and Mirage has also been cleared.
Okay. Brack's having a much easier time through here with that ribbon being on the white mage and able to restore his party, but a lot of death also means not getting a lot of experience.
And he's being forced to run a lot, unfortunately. Also, he should make sure to change that ribbon over to his other white wizard because that other one has now used up all his life 2 charges.
That's a good point. You gotta manage the equipment, and sometimes that means moving the ribbon around. Glance, zap, this is rough. He really needs to get away. He does. Now, hopefully this will prompt the ribbon move. It did not, though. Does he already have a ribbon on that one? No, just the one. Okay.
And he hit the trap tile again. There's the glance. There could be another zap. Okay, we're good. There's the herb. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the herb. So the herb probably to bottle into cube.
Very possible.
So this is actually good for Brax. I mentioned it earlier. It's good for him that he's getting it. The only downside is Earth Cave is near Sea Shrine. He hasn't found the loose key, so he might go digging Sea Shrine because it's close. And unfortunately, then that just makes advantage MeleeWizard at this point.
Maybe if you got the low-level lit 3. Otherwise, I think you need more durability on this party going in there. And if he's practiced, that's one of the things you gotta learn is, okay, what resources do I need to make this play happen? In fact, I don't see Brack on his first 5 levels. That's another discouragement from going Sea Shrine. You have to have a way to kill Kraken.
Yeah, he doesn't have Masa, he doesn't have Cat Claw, he doesn't have Thor's Hammer. And Brack was available. I believe it was level 4 in the Elflin spells. It was Saber, Brack, and Fast at level 4, I believe.
Well, you only need Saber on one party member, but yeah, Brack and Fast are great to pick up. Okay, there is a Brack on one of his casters. Both of them. Okay. He's got Brack, so yes, he can kill Kraken.
So we got a
He's
double.
just gotta get there.
We have a double Fiend fight. Lich and Kraken. Lich is down on the right-hand side. Pretty easy fight in general, even for 4 casters. We've seen a 443 hit from MeleeWizard's Knight. Kraken attacked MeleeWizard's bottom row Black Wizard. It didn't do much damage, so he doesn't have to worry about a whole lot of damage from Kraken at this point. Lit 3, Kraken is weak against lightning attacks. As you just saw there, Kraken didn't do a whole lot of damage. White Shirt comes out again. Mage Staff not going to do a whole lot. 7 hits, 185. See you later, Kraken. That's our second orb lit for MeleeWizard.
That's a pretty high absorb on a first go-around for the Fiend as Praxis finds the bottle from the Sleeping Prince.
The Sleeping Prince put himself to sleep with all that drinking.
Melee is gonna turn the ruby in to see what's in these 4 chests. They're really easy to get to if you're looking for something. It's a good check. Finds nothing.
Braxis actually was right there. Elflin is Gaia. That's where he needs to turn in that bottle. Oh, and Imp said Frost and Fire 3, just for the heck of it.
Well, you know, as I've been saying since the first tournament, this is what Script Shuffle means. Do you want Imps with Nuke? This is how you get Imps with Nuke.
I would love nukes with Imp. Or Imps with Nuke. Yes, please.
Well, I mean, realistically, when you are talking Nuke, it is more about the Nuke having the Imps than the other way around. Realistically.
So
That's true of a lot of things, though.
right? So Braxis, does he go to Volcano? No, he's going to go to where he was just at, which was Elflin, which is Gaia. He's going to turn in that bottle. He's going to get his cube. He needs to go to Volcano to find the last key item for Go Mode. It is the key in Volcano Armory. MeleeWizard is going in the right path. He needs to go to the floor before Lich in the bottom left rooms where the herb is located. That'll take him to the cube. And he will be in Go Mode.
Yeah, just rationalizing this party, though. Go Mode is going to look different for Rex. Go Mode is not just the item Go Mode, because you won't be able to complete the game. For him, Go Mode includes the defense sword and the Masa. They're just necessities at this point, just as much as any other item is.
Nope, you're absolutely right. The defense sword, Ruse was available, I believe, level 2 white magic. That helps.
I don't think you're going to do Masa on the white mage, just because of Saber. So if you don't have Power Gauntlet, Saber's a good substitute. And a good few casts of that on a black mage, you can still do some decent damage with Masa Immune, is my thought process.
Nope,
on the other hand, if you do have Power Gauntlet, that is a good case for the white mage.
Power Gauntlet is in Armory also, so if he goes there, he will find it. Once he finds the key item, he should find the Power Bonk there too. So where does Braxis go now? He is going to... looks like Sky. He sees that he's got... Alright, I don't hate him for this, but as us, the commentators, and you, the fans, unfortunately, we are watching him go in the wrong location for where he needs to go for Go Mode. Well, a Go Mode with key items, not necessarily that he can beat the game. He is using 2 casters. Or 4 casters, I'm sorry.
The standard definition of Go Mode still works. I'm just noting that completionist, it's gonna require more. The good news is Mirage Sky, a very, very rich source of experience. He's got a bunch of spell charges and is hopefully going to be able to clear out a lot of experience-rich encounters here. But oh boy, could Warmech give him fits.
Yeah, if it's an unrunnable Warmech, how are you gonna fight him? You don't have... I mean, all you have is Ruse and Invis 2, and you have no sorts of attack damage anywhere.
You're just gonna have to do fades and chip damage. And hope he rolled low.
And he didn't take any of nukes or nuclears in his pool, but then you know that Temple of Fiends Revisited is going to be stockpiled.
Well, when you're talking about 7 of those, you'd know that, well, this just got a bit more dangerous for him as damage poison comes out of firing. There's 7 between nuke and nuclears, and nuke the worst with only 3, but for a mage party, that nuclear is still pretty devastating, so it's not as significant a difference. But realistically, you're worried about all 7 of those. And it's hard to not have at least 1 or 2 of those on the Phoenix. Just hope it's on Lich and he's a speed bump.
Yeah, you definitely gotta hope that Lich somehow grabbed it all, and you're able to 1-turn Lich before he unloads on you. And especially going to be very key for Braxis, because he's got the lower HP pool. Those 2 black mages don't... They take a while. I think it's level 35 to 36 before they even get out of... or before they become safe from nuke. A high nuke roll.
Yeah, I think if you challenged me to run this party, I'm going to do something similar. I'm going to run around the world exploring chests with the 4 mages until I find that Masa. Once I find that Masa, I can drop 2 if not 4 of these and take that 1 up to a very reasonably high level.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
you can cover a ton of ground with this mage party. And apparently damage poison's on the Medusa script today.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that the exact same thing, because it's everywhere. We even seen poison, what is it? Not stun, the stone was also out. Yeah, that was
That's
out.
actually a different one, but sure. That's one of the rough things to see spread out over multiple enemies in the world, because without those ribbons, it's just such a hard-hitting attack. And because it's the poison element, your standard stuff like Flame Armor, Ice Shield just doesn't protect you.
Yeah, I think it's almost equivalent to a nuclear, isn't it? Except for except for it has the element to it, though.
I think it's lower on the base damage range, probably by 50 points or so. But to a low-level party, you really don't care. I joke about imps with nuke. It doesn't literally have to be nuke. If you're taking Fire 3 to your face at level 6, it's just as devastating as nuke. But once you get up to higher levels and more magic defense, poison is something that starts to scale off really quickly. Nuclear does not do that.
No, unfortunately it doesn't, especially when you have to rely upon your magic defense to even have a chance against it. Poor old the ribbons just don't help you against them.
MeleeWizard is making progress through this Earth Cave, which we know now leads to Go Mode for him via the herb. This is the floor.
It's the next room in the bottom left-hand side. It is going to be his third chest or second chest. He'll check there, because it's one of the 2 top ones out of the 3 chests there. Praxis, unfortunately, is in Sky. We know that the key is not there. He doesn't know that, unfortunately, but he's getting good experience because he needs it on his casters.
No, this party is never going to regret another level. You are going to regret seeing Blaze, though. Blaze is just awful to see. And just devastated his party. That was even through a ribbon, so high rolls on that Blaze damage.
I mean,
it's also rough to run around with this party and only the 1 ribbon.
ribbons are nice, but those high-hitting spells like Blaze, Poison Touch, if there's a lot of casters of that, even those things add up really quick on our casters, and MeleeWizard is now in a... well, we're going to say Go Mode at this point because that leads into it. But that is the last loose item that leads to the cube, and he'll be able to go. You know, as I was saying, even with the ribbon, having multiple poison damage casts, or, Fire 3 casts, those can add up real quickly on these low HP casters, really quickly.
That blue dragon helped me get through my last race. You can get quite a lot of experience from him as long as you're able to kill him reasonably. You can try brack charges or something like that, see if you can squeeze a few off. Get those levels, exit out, save them, and come back in a little stronger. It's another option, and even if you're not going to do that, you need to think about things like that so you can play it better.
Yeah, and unfortunately though, at the same time, that guy can roll some insanely high HP too on these flags too. It takes forever to kill.
Yeah. Familiarity with the trap tiles leads you options, and that's just something you always want. The roughest position to be in any seed is not knowing what to do next. So have some options in the back of your mind. Okay, if everything else is wrong, I can go to blank and do that to make progress. Even if it's slow, I'll eventually make progress.
And as you said that, MeleeWizard has now taken down Lich, lights his third orb. He just needs to go to the Temple of Air. He needs to do this little fetch chain. He needs to talk to the sleeping prince that was hitting the bottle a little too hard. Then he needs to talk to the little tiny fairy, and he'll get his cube.
Making steady progress, you will be able to do Sky very quickly. Just looking at that knight's level, he really needs 4 levels coming out of here. You want 24 going into Topher. You could get it in Temple of Fiends Revisited, but you're absolutely better off if you have it beforehand.
Yeah, you're right, because if you're grinding levels as you go, the problem is if you wipe, then you have to re-get those levels again. And if you have to take multiple fights in Temple of Fiends, like you're not from unrunnables, but if you actually have to take the fights, that can slow you down even more.
Very.
Sorry?
I was just saying, talks to the fairy, gets his item. Probably restock the heals.
Somehow a tiny fairy had a big Rubik's Cube in her pocket.
Well, you know, you had to do something to pass the time while you were sitting in that bottle. Can't expect her to go all that time without any type of entertainment.
You know what? You're right. If I'm locked up in a bottle, that's exactly what I want, is a Rubik's Cube. Then maybe I might actually be good at it.
Enough practice. Got a sentry. Actually, pretty good experience. And the Bridge of Destiny is before Brax. Chat, what about it? Do you want to see that Warmech?
Warmech, please. Get that Bless RNG out. Ooh, metal slime's all purpley.
That palette swap can do some interesting things. A couple of fun percent flags on display. Brax using the palette swaps, and MeleeWizard using the modern battle.
The modern battlefield is kind of cool. It removes all those little borders and stuff like that, makes it look like an actual battlefield. Before we see Brax's takes on Tiamat, I just want to introduce myself again. I am Dang Wu, joined by Trenton GL. In the background doing our tracking, we got Kenny Star 76. Kirito from Speed Gaming was our streamer. This is the 2019 Final Fantasy Spring Tournament, Round 5. The battle between MeleeWizard and Braxis Muse. The winner makes it into the last chance qualifier, who has then a chance into the play-in race, and if they do well enough, might make it into the bracket play. The loser, however, will be hanging out with the confused old men in Crescent Lake.
It's not all bad. You get a nice open grass field to do yoga in.
And as you said, we have Brax Strat. Oh, no, we have one. Yeah, he's got 2 Brax, right? On Brax's side, I believe so.
Both
we have
it, yeah.
He's got a pause right now. What's he doing? Oh, no, nothing. Okay, so we got a double fade, double Brack. He's going all out. Hold comes out.
You're talking a pretty high chance of the Brack here against Tia. I think it's 1 in 5, and that's at the worst. So when you start throwing 2 casts a round out, the odds are in your favor pretty quickly. Like, he's already had bad RNG to not kill this Tiamat.
And unfortunately, his bottom black wizard, who has the game clincher, the Bane Sword, is sleeping on the job. Brax, your own character is sleeping. Hurry up and get up. There we go.
Very good fade roll, though. This Tia should be close. If he's got quad X on anybody, I'd throw it out here. Doesn't look like he's got it, though.
Don't think we've seen quad X, to be completely honest. It might be level 8.
Just the odds are that this Tia does not have much more in the way of HP. And even these Ice 3s might kill him.
He is given up on the Brax. I believe I've seen a couple Brax on his bottom one. He has the Bane Sword, but he's given it up. He's casting Ice 3 instead. Dark comes out from Tiamat. That's a free turn.
Don't mind Ice 3s from the top one, but the lower one needs to stick with that Bane Sword. There you go. That's your play. It'll work. You just need enough turns to do it, and Tiamat is giving them to you.
He really is. Bane comes out, and Viz 2. Let's get some more Bless RNGs. Let's see if we can get one on MeleeWizard's side. Brat comes out on Brax's side. Broken into pieces! That's his second orb.
It took a lot of turns, but the strength of that strategy is it only has to work once. And it really doesn't care how much HP Tiamat has. And there you go, you asked for it, you received. We've got Warmech!
Our Lord and Savior, the Robot Chicken, Warmech, has made an appearance. He starts out with a stop. Good thing we have 3 ribbons on MeleeWizard's side. A temper out for his red wizard. Unfortunately, he is stunned at the moment. Stun is bad. If Warmech attacks that knight, he can do extra damage. It gets like a little damage buff, but we have 2 white shirts out. It should be pretty minimal. Nuke roll 150. Okay.
He only has 1 hit. That's fantastic news. That means that the Invis shirts might already be enough. If you have Cure 4, you can instantly recover your status based on that. Nuke comes out! The mages are gone!
Okay, he's not over
Man
yet.
mode engaged.
Oh! He still hits hard. Oh,
It's too much. Warmech gives MeleeWizard the business.
And it opens up the door for Braxis. Does Braxis go from air to Volcano? If he goes to Volcano, he finds the key in the Volcano Armory. This gives him a chance. He goes into go mode. Going to carry is really quick. Except he went to Sea Shrine. This is going to take up time. MeleeWizard is bailing out of air. Where is he going?
This has got to be a move to get levels, is the only thing that I can rationalize.
Getting white magic. Level 2. I thought he'd already got life 2. Oh, he didn't buy life 2 for his knight.
That's a very reasonable play. It doesn't necessarily change Warmech other than surviving in the end.
Yeah,
recovering his party after the fact.
He's got 3 charges of life 2. I seen him go there. I thought he bought it for his knight. He didn't. Okay, so Praxis is in Sea Shrine. He's gonna go crack inside, I think, and make that dive first. Most Final Fantasy people will tell you go crack inside first when you're searching for that last loose item, because if you find it on the way, you go right into Kraken. If you don't, you can check mermaids at that point, or you can take a gamble and go to your next area.
So one of the interesting questions is if MeleeWizard came in here on the same RNG cycle. Now, he might have done a hard reset, as we like to call it, the power cycle. You turn power off, back on, and you're at the beginning of the encounter table. If instead you do a soft reset, or you've already taken a couple fights. You can be on a different encounter table and then potentially not see that Warmech.
I
You
mean,
can also try and Masa this blue dragon a couple times for levels.
which he did. When we were watching Brax and we were talking a little bit, he did take a couple fights of that blue dragon. Now, only problem, the Warmech would be a nice target, but unfortunately he has the nuke, and that means you also have to rely upon enough evade stacks to prevent that hard-hitting Warmech. Even with 2 invises, he was still hitting for over 200 on one attack.
Yeah, you need either a different encounter table to avoid that Warmech, or you need an all-out blitz that kills him first. So, one of the things you can do in that scenario, and this is tough, but if you can remember how many battles you were in, assuming you're starting from the very beginning of the encounter table, you can move those fights up to earlier floors. You can be on this star floor, get the manticores, get the eyes, and then know that you've moved that Warmech encounter off the bridge. That's not to say you won't see another one, but you can move that one off.
Yeah,
Blaze
encounter.
is just a nemesis of these runners today.
It really is. It is everywhere too. Poison damage, blaze. Everything seems to have spells at this point. Everybody's rolling spells. But the good thing though for Melee, he did find information. One of the 3 nukes is off of the table. The bad news, however, he's been taken back an extra, 8 minutes or so. Let's, as much as I'd love to see another Warmech in this case, it is runnable, so you know what? Let's see another nuke, or let's see another Warmech. Let's get some more Bless RNGs in chat. He can run from it if he needs to. Brax on your right, isn't Sea Shrine, going crack inside, checking chests on the way. He needs 1 item to be in go mode, and that is the key. I know I've already said it a couple times. Red Hydra's on the left, MeleeWizard, those are good experience. He needs them. He wants 24 on his Masa. That gives him his 5th hit.
Love those Red Hydras. The Ice 2's at level 1. That'd be a good follow-up to the Black Shirt instead of Mage Staff is just not going to do a lot. They're going to resist the fire.
Ooh, Slimes. I believe after Slimes was the Warmech, wasn't it?
It could be a different encounter, though. It's not a guarantee.
Well, there's an air. He's getting there. Ooh, more Red Hydras, you're right. It might be a different encounter. I just remember seeing the Slimes, and I got all excited.
Yeah, it'd be a question of if you saw the same pattern. Like, if you saw Red Hydra, Slime, Warmech, then you saw, on the repeat trip, Red Hydra, Slime, that's when you'd have to worry.
Melee's about 3/4 of the way through the Bridge of Destiny. One more. Nope, he's made it to Tiamat. This is his 4th orb. He needs the light. Tiamat really didn't do a whole lot against Braxis, so with the knight up front, it should be a pretty easy fight for MeleeWizard, I would assume.
But Brax was able to get a lot of spell damage, particularly with Fade. Not a hard-hitting Tiamat at all. Masa should do pretty good damage, and the Absorb's a little high on this one.
Yeah. Fast comes out on the knight. Masa didn't do too bad, but it did have 4 hits, 5 hits. He's going with Bane. We gonna get a Poison Smoke? No, ineffective. Brack? Broken into pieces.
Yep, the strat will work. It's a little better RNG for MeleeWizard than Braxis had, but both of them went to the well on that and ended up not having to chip away all that HP.
Now, I am gonna say this. MeleeWizard has some cojones. He defeated Tiamat, exited out of Mirage, and ran to his airship without saving.
That's a bold play. I like to save that first tile, personally. Like, just standing there. We don't even need to take a step. We just need to stay. Brax here against Kraken. Throwing the Invis 2s out to try and survive. Throwing the Brax out to try and make it not matter. First one doesn't work. And MeleeWizard's going to enter Temple of Fiends with 156 on the clock. 5 hits through a couple of casts of Invis 2.
That is not something you want to see. That is through gold bracelets, though, so it's kind of understandable. We got
It could be a free turn.
Now the question becomes, does Dark affect your spell accuracy?
No. No, nothing does. Except mute, really. So we're 4 out of 6 on max evade. Is he out of Invis 2s? Or did he just stop short? Blizzard comes out! Devastating his party!
That one ribbon, it's keeping him alive, but unfortunately the rest of his party members are just taking the hits.
Out of that, you're not max evade yet. Do the Invis 2s. Brax, you're not max evade yet.
One for more Brack.
Unless I miscounted, in which case I'll apologize.
No, he's not max evade yet.
No, it's 6 Invis 2s to get to max evade.
Another free turn for Brax. Ink comes out.
I think he's just hurting for... He's got no fades left. Yeah, he just had no source of damage.
I think he forgot that he didn't have the... He has the Bane Sword. He could have used it.
But it was on one of the black mages. He needs to move that to the ribbon.
I wasn't sure where that was at. That's a good point. Bane Sword needs to be on something that's going to be able to cast it in a last-ditch effort.
Yeah, even then, not as effective as Brack there. He just couldn't get it to go. He's not had the best RNG with that. This seed. It didn't work great against Tiamat.
And Augusta Quill in chat. Now Topher's one nuke safer, but still enough nuke and nuclear in the pool to make things interesting. You are totally right. If one of the Fiends gets 2 of those, MeleeWizard's in trouble still, but he has the life too to survive.
There is a very welcome sight for Brax's Muse. Ribbon number 2.
Yeah, that definitely makes him a lot more comfortable diving, since a lot of these poison damages are out, and Blaze and Thunder, they're just ravaging his low HP party.
That's going to make a lot of navigation a lot easier. The one thing I would suggest is you put that on those on your back 2 party members. Your White Mage in spot number 3 should have a ribbon, and your Black Mage in spot number 4 a ribbon, the way I see it, to just maximize your survival odds. Opal Bracelet is another fantastic find. Best absorb defense he's going to get for these mages.
Yeah, that was another thing that MeleeWizard found early, because he did do the Sea Shrine already. So he had that early, the early loose ribbon, and he also had the Opal Bracelet for his casters. Meanwhile, MeleeWizard on your left is about to enter. Oh, for the question in chat is MeleeWizard is entering the earth floor of Temple of Fiends Revisited. The ribbon provides resistance to all elements. So thunder, blizzard, that kind of stuff. Anything with touch effects, unfortunately, it does not protect you against. So, a death touch, it will not be able to protect you against. Poison touch, paralyzing touch, any of that stuff. It doesn't. That actually revolves around your, I believe, levels and your armor. Or you absorb. There's like a certain calculation behind it.
It's a really good question, and let's just cover it a little bit more in depth, as Lich is probably not going to be a big issue. For every element in this game, you have 3 statuses. You can be weak to it, you can be neutral, or you can be resistant to it. Down goes Lich, the speed bump is out of the way, and level 24 for MeleeWizard is a very welcome sight. The ribbons give you resistance to everything. So it is still possible, for example, for the rub spell to one-hit KO through a ribbon, but that's we call it the 3 in 256 because that's literally the chances. There's 3 possible odds of the rolls of RNG out of 256 that will let that spell work. So the ribbon does not make you 100% immune, but it makes you, for practical purposes, immune. You're not going to go into a fight worried, oh no, what if this enemy has thunder? You're going to resist thunder. And you're not worried that they're going to throw out an instant death spell like Zap that's going to kill you.
Which unfortunately means you're going to find those random cases where you're going to be like, wait, how did they get Bane through it? Carry 2 on the left-hand side took about 1,000 damage between 2 attacks from MeleeWizard's Knight and falls. Sea Snakes have fast. That's actually kind of deadly if they roll multiple hits.
Yeah, but if you're throwing off spells to kill them, then you're getting a free round, basically. So, good news, bad news situation.
I would not like to see lobsters with them being fasted at all. So the seafood party platter could be trouble of sorts if those lobsters roll high hits, high attacks, or high attack damage. And apparently they have slow sleep, every sort of thing to make this a very slow grind to Kraken.
Yeah, this is a case where... This is a solid case for a nuke. You want to ration them, but you can't always save them for the bosses. Sometimes it's more important for them to get you to the boss. The lit damage is coming out, it's doing its job, it's clearing the field. So it's a good example of the being vulnerable to a status. These enemies, of course, vulnerable to lightning, so you get bonus damage for it against them. Whereas, say, the undead, they can be hit by the harm spells, but they're actually neutral in their resistance. On the other hand, fire they're vulnerable to, so fire 2 is going to do more damage than harm 2.
That is one piece of information that is actually very surprisingly important. Because when you think about it, most people would think, oh, harm's going to do more damage to the undead. Actually, no, it does not.
But still, you get an early harm 4, you run into packs of undead, and you knock them out of your way.
That is true. And with MeleeWizard being slowed up by the seafood party platter, Brax's Red Sahags, and the Wizard Sahags.
And he gets the party again! I hope he fires a nuke this time. Don't spend that much time on the encounter, you don't know how much time you have. You're looking at the 2-hour mark, you know what people have run these flags in. You don't want to spend a lot of time in these. I'd even love to see Bane Sword fired off.
Yeah.
But he gets away.
He does get away, and as you said, the Bane Sword is even a viable thing. It usually does very well against these lobsters and sea snakes.
Gets it again.
Seems to be a common encounter on this Temple of Fiends seafloor.
RNG Shuffle can do that to you.
So Braxis on your right is on the seafloor of the original Kraken. MeleeWizard's about to take on Kraken 2. Generally the first gatekeeper that we will run into. He does have life 2 on his knight, so he's going to put that knight in the back.
No, I apologize, I didn't see this, but I have to ask the question. Did Braxis explore enough to find that Masamune?
No, he has not found the loose key, and the Masa is in loose Corneria Lock. Or is in Corneria Lock. Oh! That black wizard just got annihilated! Almost 1,000 damage from Kraken.
Was over the 1k mark, and that's the kind of damage this Kraken is capable of. That's why he shifted the knight into the last spot to be better defended. But this is bad news, because this is a high evade. Kraken 2, 4 hits that time, but he didn't hit the time before.
324. This hit. He's done 700, 800 damage against Kraken. Kraken has already done about 1,400 damage to his 2 party members. Lit 3, that's a freak chance. Alright, whew. Masa finishes off Kraken 2. MeleeWizard, you can breathe. You can breathe now, MeleeWizard.
Makes it like nothing even happened.
You can breathe now, MeleeWizard. You've made it through.
Well, you know, as I always say, MeleeWizard, the one thing about swords is they don't run out of spell charges.
You're so right. That Kraken 2 had really good agility, or really good evade. And Braxis is now in Volcano. He's going to find this loose key here. He's got to check everything. He's still looking for it. It is an armory. If he goes armory first, he'll find it really quickly, along with the power bomb. The question after that is, does he go to Corneria Locked? That is where Masa is, and he kind of needs Masa at this point.
That is a really easy check when you need equipment, and I gotta believe he knows he needs it. You say he's practiced with this party composition, so he knows the difference that makes. As he finds a nice pack of EXPs. But whenever you need stuff, like defense sword, white shirt, etc., those key-locked chests are such a good place to look because you're not taking encounters.
Tiamat 2, MeleeWizard against Tiamat 2, 10 defense. No, he did power bonk and a fast. Tiamat comes out with a blizzard. It's not bad. He's got a bunch of ribbons. He's got 3 ribbons on his light warriors, so the elemental damage is not going to do much. Temper. This knight is going to be swing hard unless Tiamat has a lot of absorb. He does not. He's cut through the armor.
That's a really good setup for melee.
Yes, that was very good turn order. Those casters went first, got the tempers out. He even got the second Invis 2 out, which is crucial. The white wizard didn't take much damage.
Rice finds the white shirt. That's going to be a very welcome sight.
Tiamat 2 is down. That was a relatively tame Tiamat 2. We have not... There's still 2 nukes. There are still 4 nuclears out on the pool. Does Chaos have them all somehow?
Does he have Cure 4? There's so many things that can mess with your strats.
Yeah, slow 2, Cure 4, with high HP. High agility, high absorb. I mean, there's so much stuff that he could have at this point. Braxis needs a tough Chaos.
I want to say I love the veteran move from MeleeWizard, even in which Black Mage did what. You know you need the fast first, so the temptation is to do that from the first Black Mage. He did it from the more protected third Black Mage, so that if Chaos one-shot the Black Mage in the first spot, who's the one he's most likely to hit on a melee attack, that fast still goes off.
10 hits, 885 from the Masa. Braxis is now in go mode on the right-hand side. this cast doesn't have much to live for at this point. If Masa's already hit for 885 at this point, it is just a matter of time. 10 hits, 1231. Chaos takes revenge, takes out that Black Wizard. Nuke for 183. It doesn't matter at this point. Unless he gets a first turn nuke or a slowed 2 on that night, Chaos is going down this round. It's got to be.
Chaos can have over 4,000 stats, and that's over 4,000 damage, and that's no more Chaos.
Yeah, 10 hits for 1465. Masa proves that it is a superior weapon when the enemy has no armor. MeleeWizard finishes at 2 hours, 11 minutes and 42 seconds to win it. See if we can get him in here to... Yep, looks like he's going to be joining here very shortly. Brax is heading his way down to Volcano at this point. He's finally in go mode. He's picked up the power gauntlet. He's got the key. And we are officially joined by MeleeWizard. Melee, GG. Well done on your first place finish.
Oh, dang, that was a bit of something right there.
It was a good thing. There was nothing with a high absorb up until you had the evade happy the Kraken.
Yeah, I got really lucky when I saw that first hit for about 1,000 damage. It's like, and then I missed with Masa, and it was more of an but then I got crits, and I somehow survived, and that was that.
Yeah, and you... I mean, you didn't see any more nukes after the nuke from Warmac, and we were wondering, we're like, does Chaos have all the nukes here? We haven't seen anything. And it's not like... the Kraken, you know, did its thing, had many chances to cast things, didn't cast anything dangerous. Tiamat didn't cast anything really bad towards you since you had all those ribbons. I mean, what was the Temple of Fiend's, you know, dive for you? You know, the journey. Was there anything you were, like, terrified of besides the Kraken 2?
I was mostly kind of worried about Kraken 2 being the slap happy as he turned out to be. Just only attacked the one time, I think. No, he did attack twice, didn't he?
Yeah, he kind of broke in half 2 of your light warriors real quick.
Honestly, probably the thing that worried me most was the Agamas. Because when I saw that they had Death Touch, my first thought was, well, not grinding on them.
I actually missed that they had Death Touch. Interesting.
I was on Volcano 4, just checking chests and such. I saw an Agama, and it had Death Touch, and it was like, well, I'll be seeing some more of them in Topher. Great.
And just as you said that, guess what just happened? Brax gets a Death Touch on his backline Black Mage.
Oof.
But so you went with the double Black Mage white with the Knight. Any reason why you didn't go Rainbow, or do you prefer the double black?
It was a case of I just felt like it, really. I didn't really have much of a plan going in. It was just whatever I felt like doing at the time.
Hey, I'm not going to argue with it. You know, sometimes you just got to go with, you know, your gut, and that's what you went with, and you won with it, so can't argue with that at all.
Having an extra red mage would have been nice with the extra life too, but... I see it taking that wipe to Warmech. I was worried about how far that set me back.
Oof. I mean, it had a good chance for it. As unfortunately, Brax kind of went a long-about way. Kind of went the reverse way that you went after killing Lich. Went to Sea Shrine and stuff like that. So. He actually found the loose herb in the cube, and you had just done Sea Shrine, so you guys kind of swapped places.
And here I was thinking that whoever found the ultimately found the cube first would have won. I was convinced of that. And I was worried that it was either in Keylock Marsh that I noped out of because of the stupid wizards, and I noped out of the rest of Ice for largely the same reason. That and the Thunder Wraiths, I think they were.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. So your early dive into Volcano was probably the biggest difference maker, to be completely honest, because that key gave you Masa, it gave you the Power Bonk. I know you did the play, but were you like, is that a play you do normally? Because you went into Armory, you checked that, and then you just was like, okay, I'm done.
I went into Armory because I had Ice 2. And it was, if I had like Fire 2, Fire 3, I probably would have done Ice first. It was all about what I had versus what was there, and having Ice made me feel more comfortable diving Volcano first.
That's fair. I mean, it made perfect sense, and like I said, it was probably the biggest difference maker, you doing that. I mean, yeah, just because, like I said, you got the Masa, you got the Power Bonk and stuff like that, it puts you in a good position for a lot of your Fiend fights, too.
Not to mention finding, I think it was, Thor Hammer, Black Shirt, and Mage Staff pretty much all in a row. That I forget where that was now, though, but that really, really helped in the long run.
And Brax is going to pick up his Masa, which is going to be an important weapon for him with his team comp. The double stuffed Oreo composition, I like to call it. Actually, what he likes to call it.
Yeah, I was wondering, after I had saw what the Agamas did, I don't even know why I checked the Red Dragon chest. Just like, this is a bad idea, this is a bad idea.
It's never a bad idea.
Yeah, but when the Agamas have the means of killing you instantly and there's nothing you can do about it.
You know, that's a good point, because, yeah, that fire floor in Temple of Fiends, you can get up to 4 of those bad boys.
Mm-hmm. I was scared to death. I was more worried about the Agamas than I was about Kraken 2, honestly.
I wish I would have seen the Agamas, because that would have been a great call. Been like, we've got Agamas here. Is this going to be a Gurmedusa Temple of Fiends again between Wilkliosis and Tristal? Let's find out. But you made it through. I think you had a hero run, didn't you? You made it through the fire floor real quickly.
I did have a couple of those red giant Agama fights. I think one of my black mages got pinged once, but I had plenty of life 2 charges, so that wasn't as big of an issue.
And Braxis is in Temple of Fiends now. He's played his loot. He's going to make his way 2,000 years in the past. Now that he's got the key, he can finally open that door and make his way into Chaos's inner sanctum.
Yeah, I was concerned about where that cube was. That could have been anywhere. Like, if it was in Keylock Marsh, GG. If it was in somewhere in Ice that I didn't even take a sniff at, GG. Yeah, I was taking a gamble on that just because of what nasty things were there.
It was interesting because on Brax's side, he did the marsh dive earlier than you, and we didn't see any of that nasty stuff. You went down there, and it was just nasty after nasty, and I'm just like, we didn't see Toxic when he went down there. We didn't see this. But
and the werewolves were packing too. I think they had damaged poison.
Yeah, I believe Trin had pointed out that the damaged poison was on the Medusa script, so it was everywhere, it seemed. There was blaze being thrown out. If you had a big advantage of those 3 ribbons. You went down into mermaids. You got that other ribbon. So I mean, you were very well equipped for a lot of your stuff later on.
Yeah. I was mostly checking all those chests because who knew where the cube was, and I didn't want to leave anything behind.
And you had to, and you did the right play by doing that. You know, you went to each of the Fiend dungeons. You checked all the chests on your way because you have to at that point because, like you said, If you bypass it, it could cost you if you forget what you haven't checked and what you have checked. That was, it was well done by you on that in that regard.
And I actually felt bitter about where I stood in this race when I found the cube where it was, because that's not just something that you're gonna. That's not gonna be most people's first option. I was more concerned that it was gonna be in Mirage, or the aforementioned Marsh or Ice or something.
Yeah, it was interesting because I had even pointed out to... Oh, and Braxis runs into the 4 Agamas. 2 of them down. 3 down. Uh-oh. Can he get out? Yes, he can.
Oh, wow.
He barely got out. This one white wizard managed to make it out.
The one with the life 2 charges. Nice.
One is all you need, really. At least to survive. MeleeWizard, question for you. You were, I think, at 21 leaving Sky Castle. Did you give any thought to getting 24 feet before you went into Temple of Beats Revisited?
I think I was at 22, but either which way. I don't know those extra hit charts. I wasn't even sure. For some reason, I was thinking that breakpoint for Masa was 27. So I figured that would have been a bit too much to grind, because I thought I thought maybe I tend to keep IRC minimized until really late, just so it doesn't distract me. And I was thinking we were probably like real close together or something. Because when I'm seeing it's like when it's past like the hour and a half mark, I never feel good about where I'm at in the seed.
Those levels can always be an interesting thing. So the first time Brax sees the seafood platter, he doesn't see those sneeze snakes that you were growing so accustomed to.
Yeah, with the sleep and ambushing almost every single time. Yeah.
And the frequency, they kept coming. But he's got a hero run on this war, so a little different in counter table.
Yeah, and the sea, and just the sea in general in the seed was nasty, because with the hags were packing this time around.
Only level 21 for his party. This is Kraken, who will chew them up if he gets through the evade.
Speaking of chewing up, see you later, Edge. I hope we can bring you back after what Kraken just did to your poor body. Holy 772 damage with 11 hits. But he gets a free turn with a quad X. We will gladly take that so we can cast more Invis 2s.
Did Brax ever find Vorpal by chance? Because that probably would have helped in that fight.
Not with no Knight, or Ninja, or Red Mage.
Oh, did he take Black Belt?
No.
He went to double stuffed Oreo. Double black with double white.
Wow, okay.
So, pure Masa strats here, but fortunately he's got the defense sword, so Danny will have max evade at this point. But your concern gets to be that Kraken's gonna unleash the non-elemental stuff. It's not just nuke, but things like swirl are non-elemental, and that you're not resistant. Only getting 1 hit from Masa. We saw that. This is a high evade Kraken.
Yeah, my first swing was a miss, I think, and that was after after fasting.
Yep, he's having a hard time attacking now. He's got a Cure 4. He's on a Cure 4 on that extra white wizard. 2 hits, 640 with a crit. Masa once again proves that it can hit hard.
What level was Cure 4 at? I don't think I ever saw that.
Level 7.
That explains it. I think I only checked one magic shop in level 7, and that's where Nuke was.
Yeah, I think it was
That's a good
actually right
level
next to it.
7.5.
Well, 7 had nuke, and that's really all that. I think it had. The one shop I saw it had nuke and lit one. And that was the one at Gaia.
That's a pretty easy choice.
Yeah, I didn't even bother checking any of the others above 6.
Now versus Tiamat, but went straight for the Masa. The game knows.
Now, I believe Tiamat actually had a little higher absorb compared to the other one, so Masa might have a little bit harder of a time considering he doesn't have as many swings compared to what the Knight did on MeleeWizard's side.
If it's just absorb, Masa's gonna get through it eventually. The evade is the harder thing to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. When Masa's all you got, when you're only getting maybe 3, maybe 4 swings at best.
And Tiamat 2 is a homing missile. He has that target on Danny, who has the Masa. It's 2 times in a row that he's tried to attack Danny.
4 hits there. Blizzard comes out. So those hits will eventually get through as long as you're able to live. I like the temper spam. It's a good call here. It's level 1. You've got plenty of them.
Use his last nuke. Understandable. Tiamat has been a little difficult. Masa swing. 4 hits, 166. Masa's not cutting through right now. But it hasn't been getting any crits either.
If Brax has that Bane Sword handy, I'd love to see that come out here.
Oh yeah, I did find that, didn't I? I forgot about that.
69 damage from an Ice 3 is enough to take down Tiamat 2.
We both finished Tiamat 2 up with a nice 3. Nice.
Using up those heal pots. I'm a big advocate of that. You can't take for granted you will not get another encounter. In fact, you usually will get another encounter after Tiamat.
It always seems that way, and it's always either the worms or the whiz vamps with the vampires or the zombie Ds, and they hurt in most cases.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, my first playthrough, I actually got the Iron Galls. And didn't realize what that was until years and years later. It's just, this is no big deal. No, I only got one of the rarest encounters in the game.
So we get Braxis is going to go up against Chaos. He starts out with a stun. White shirt comes out. That's good. He's got a free turn order at this point. Danny's defensing. We got a fast temper. White shirt's out. Good evades out on the group right now.
Yeah, Chaos didn't have much for evade or absorb. Just had a decent amount of health.
Great round 2 turn order. He got all the buffs out first before Chaos even did anything.
Danny's at max evade now because of the ruse as well as the invis 2s. I'd still keep doing the invis 2s for everybody else. You basically aren't going to live through hard-hitting stuff anyways, like Nuke. If it comes out, it's going to wipe your mages, so you may as well be protected against the melee.
He really... Third defense on top of 3 wizards, or 3 invis. Okay, we have a lot of invis going out here. What's he going to choose? He needs to start swinging at this point. Oh, wall. He needs to put wall out on his Masa wearing white mage. He doesn't have a ribbon.
Should have a ribbon on that one, and that makes the wall not effective. The wall substitutes for a ribbon. 1,000 damage is good.
Even with all those invises, Edge goes down. His black wizard up on top.
Yeah, those were crits. Nothing you can do about that. That's the, it's not 3 and 256. And I actually don't think that was max evade anyways. It's something like 10 in 256. I don't have that memorized offhand.
So he's done about 1,600 damage between his 2 Masa strikes. This Chaos is very accurate, still hitting through all those invises. 1594. Even a white wizard with Masa is able to cut through Chaos.
A lot of tempers, they really help. That was a big part of Braxis' strategy to be able to get here. He needed that big sword and enough tempers to get it up to snuff.
Brax is finished at 2 hours and 31 minutes and 2 seconds. He said he'll be in here in about a minute, so we're going to do a little more, I guess, recap of sorts. MeleeWizard, once again, GG on your well-fought battle here. I would say the volcano dive, as I mentioned earlier, was probably the key. The key was the loose item to your win here.
Yeah, that led to a lot of good things.
I'd like to thank Triton for coming out and joining me at the last half of this. Very nice to have Triton join me, the man, the myth, the legend himself, Triton GL.
Oh, I'm always happy to come support these races. It's been a great tournament, and Melee and Brax, they both put on a show here.
Yes, they did. And we are now joined by the double stuffed Oreo composition racer that is Braxis Muse. Welcome.
Well, I don't think I could have imagined a worse seed overall. I mean, every single dungeon, I wasn't sure which one I wanted to die first, and then I thought, well, I might as well go with the least appealing, which was definitely Earth Cave, which, God, how many times did I have to die? 3 times because of those poison, stone poison werewolves? Like, yikes.
Yeah, I had my share of those in Earth in March too.
But at the same time, like I was trying to do everything opposite what I thought most people would do in order to try to catch up. And finding that herb last chest in Earth, I thought it was going to buy me some time until I decided the second dungeon I was going to go to, I think, was Sky. And I ended up resetting out of that because I died, and then I went to Sea Shrine, which could have I got worse luck on those, 5 bracks, 6 bracks I used on Kraken, and then had to reset out of that. And
Yeah,
not to mention those, Sahags, good lord.
I backed you up on the RNG on that Kraken. That was pretty bad luck. Yeah, and you had it on Tiamat too. I mean,
Yeah.
combined, it was... You were definitely in the right on the RNG, it just didn't go your way.
Like I said, overall, I thought I was doing really good for the seed with all things considering, and like I said, being on the water, those sea hags with the Fire 2 ambush, was definitely a problem. Definitely the poison touch in Earth, and we saw, I believe, from the bad men in Sky. The only dungeon I thought that would be actually halfway decent was Volcano, and I chose to do it last, actually hoping the loose item wasn't there. What I was hoping is when I got the herb, and that the herb would give me the cube, which it did, and then instead the loose item would be in Sky, hoping my opponent would go to Earth last, which would give me a 1-up on them. But Volcano was good until I got to the Agamas, and they had Death Touch, and then I thought, well, I don't think there's a single dungeon that was actually worth trying to dive without dying. I'm just glad Life 2 was level 2 and we had a bunch of charges.
Yeah, the Ice Cave was a pain with the wizards and the with the wraiths. The Volcano, Agamas aside, Volcano wasn't that bad, and thankfully the Agamas weren't that common in Volcano. But with that knowledge, it made you worried for Topher for sure.
Having to dig out the Mass Immune, I think, has cost me a little bit of time there too, because I knew with Nuke and Fade being not level 1, I wouldn't have enough charges to even try to dive Topher without digging up Mass Immune. And to be honest, if it wasn't in the Keylock chest, I probably would have forfeited, because I didn't want to have to spend another 20 minutes digging up chests. But I was glad it was there. I was glad I was able to finish it off with the double black mage, double white mage combo, which I chose to do for week 5. That's definitely not the meta.
You definitely showed off something different. So, as we look over the end of the Swiss round for the two of you, let me ask you first, Braxis. Any particular takeaways from the tournament experience this time around?
Yeah, actually, I learned quite a bit, and one of the big things I learned with the Swiss flags is use the logic. If it's telling you to do the fetch quest, more than likely do the fetch quest because it's going to come in handy. Very, very few seeds paid off, where if you didn't follow the fetch quest, it didn't pay off. And coming into week 5, I wanted to do that as much as possible, but also, like I said, I did want to try to take gambles. And once I knew I had the rod, I dove Earth Cave because I was hoping the loose item was there, and in fact it was, but it was just Earth Cave was just so deadly. I lost so much time even attempting to get it out. And to be honest, MeleeWizard, I was actually hoping you were going to struggle as much, if not more, in there, just so that I could hopefully catch up a little bit of time.
I did have my struggles in places. I took a wipe to Warmech, and that made me worried about where I stood. Because that's a long way to have to go back. Although
Yeah.
that did prompt me to get Life 2 on my knight, so...
This is a quick movement. How about for you, Melee? Any takeaway from the tournament experience?
Well, I think this was the first race that I ever even marginally manipulated the encounter table. It's kind of awkward for me because I have the soft reset and the hard power cycle in 2 different places, and it's kind of... I don't have that coordinated just yet right now.
I will definitely agree with you. I think that's really the one thing I felt this seed had going for it. If you got 1 step on the power cycle and then like 30 or 40 steps after that, and then there was like 2 small encounters in the middle and then another long step. I mean, I don't think you could have asked for much more than that.
Well, I didn't really pay much attention aside from the first couple. I actually took advantage of that early to get some troll fights near Crescent Lake to get some levels up early. Yeah, it's boom, 1 step, couple trolls, heal up, rinse and repeat until I hit to 7 or 8 or something.
Finding the floater in Ice Cave, I did that. That's my first instinct where I felt a little behind because I chose to go to Onrak and up to Waterfall, hoping that I could manipulate that step counter and be able to run from the couple encounters that were up there to snag the item, but I in turn had to just grind up some levels until I could get Fade, and I think that probably cost me about 10 minutes doing that. But I felt by doing that and doing the on-rack play, by the time I found Waterfall, I felt at least I was getting progression and I didn't get stumped with like a cabin or something that wasn't very useful.
Yeah, just kind of reiterate real quick, Brax, the one big divergent that happened that gave Melee the big lead was he went Volcano and found that key, so he was able to get the Moss off to start with the Power Bonk and the Thor Hammer.
And I was actually hoping it wouldn't be there. I was hoping it would be in some like off-the-wall place because I knew I was going to have to search enough chests without leaving many behind if I wanted to capture it, and I was just hoping it would be in one of those like weird like Sky 3 or not Sky, like Sky 2 or whatever, where people don't really check. Off to one of the sides is where I was really hoping to find it because I thought that might have helped me. And if I would have had it, I think I would have been able to killed Kraken the first time because I would have at least had weapons and not ran out of magic and had to reset out.
Well, as I like to say, swords don't run out of MP.
That's right. My other idea, to be honest, is I thought about going back to Canary and buying 2 cat claws for my black mages, but I actually chose against it. There was a couple times I was tempted to do it just to have a weapon, and I almost feel like I wish I would have, but I was afraid that I was going to spend the money, need it for spells, and then Master was going to turn up right after.
Yeah, that's always how that turns out.
Let's say a quick thank you to everybody who joined us here on Speed Gaming number 6 tonight. We had to go deep into the bullpen, but got a show. Hope you all enjoyed. If you're looking for more Final Fantasy 1 Randomizer, they still have the race on SG2 wrapping up between Wrigglypuff and Saint Von Jester. No spoilers, but just encouraging people to check that out if you haven't. For my final thoughts, I'll just say enjoyed what I got to see of this one, and wish you both the best going forward.
Thank you very much.
I'm Dang Wu, and I would just like to thank Kenny Star in the background, who did amazing work keeping me honest back there. Trenton, thank you for joining us. Braxis, thank you for showing off the double stuffed Oreo composition, the double white, double black. MeleeWizard, congratulations on your win. You get to go into the last chance qualifier. Good luck in that one, sir.
Well, yeah, this is already... I didn't even think I'd make it this far.
Well, either way, congratulations on that. Speed Gaming, thank you for giving us a channel to be able to broadcast this. I hope everybody, the fans out there that did join us and talk to us, thank you once again. All I can say is come hang out with us in Discord if you're interested. We have a lot of fun. People will help you out. And give those racers a follow because they deserve it after putting on that show like that. So, may you light the 4 orbs and have a great night.